Oval.
Oh, a big crash. Justin Wilson and Tristan Vautier. And James Jakes
and
collects
Simona.
the debris.
Oh, boy, in Serbia.
And Joseph Newgarden.
Wow, Serbia's car
really
and Newgarden's car.
Wiggles.
That right rear tire was on that seam. We've talked about that, and Wilson turned in with his right rear right on the seam. Everybody else trying to get out of the way, and Serbia just gets pancaked. And there comes Vautier, T-boning.
Just gets a little bit loose there. Serbia's got to make a decision, so he goes high, but out of nowhere, Newgarden comes slamming up the racetrack. So Serbia
go in turn number 2. Ideally, I think you'd like to be low, in particular going into. Oh, we have a huge crash here on the track right now. It looks like Mikhail Aloshin. I'll have to look up who it is. I saw Aloshin earlier was running very close with Charlie Kimball and as well Sebastian.
Isso, Blundell. O que foi aprontar o Mark Blundell? Ele errou, mas errou feio, uma pancada.
Fast and there's a crash right in front. Arndt Meyer has gone off the road in front of us. He hit the wall heavily. A lick of what happened. Let's see, Arndt Meyer spun the car and bang! Nowhere to go, right in front of the camera there, and just absolutely nowhere for the Ganassi car to go except for straight into the wall. And in fact, look, there was even another impact as they came together following the initial.
Now we've got contact, hard contact, two cars on the outside of them, and they just both touch. Oh, that's a huge hit, Eddie.
Yeah, no, that's terrible. In fact, this is what happens at the end of the race. I have never seen a car like Vito Miro's do that, and he is incredibly lucky that it's not the other way.
With this whole race, and I saw one quick clip. Oh, there you go. I mean, anytime you see a car end up like that, get up in the fence and rip it apart. And you know, for me, I was on Bia's car, and she's like, "Oh, I just spun. And I didn't know till a minute later.
Ryan Hunter-Reay's on board.
So what's happened here? Ryan Hunter-Reay has run out of gas, or is saving gas, and Mike had a full tank and just ran up.
That on the radio, this better pay off with us staying out longer than everyone else. They talked about a wing adjustment. They vetoed that wing adjustment and a crash on the track.
Huge crash on the front straightaway. Looks like Connor Daly and I believe Joseph Newgarden. Big hit coming into the tri-oval.
See Joseph Newgarden moving in the car. That is a big relief.
Up at the top of your screen, Connor Daly loose.
Connor got loose.
Oh!
Connor just got loose, corrected, and went up into the track into Joseph, and now Joseph's upside down, and the front spins around, and Connor's car pushing it right into the wall, into the safer barrier. It's a good thing that was safer barrier and not concrete. And these two guys are the best of buddies, too. They're best friends. So this is a double hard.
We were running up front in the end of the race.
We've got a problem. Kenny Brack in turn number 3. It looks like Schechter and Brack. A very hard hit in turn number 3.
Now, one of the cars got airborne and it slammed upside down. It's a nasty, nasty.
The cars touch, and I get thrown in the big post that was holding the gate into trouble.
Distance. Both in the 231s. The first driver to put any lap in the 231. So far, trouble. Oh, what a crash! What a terrible crash!
Up and over, car flipped.
Machine, the Lucas Oil entry of Canada's Robert Wickens.
Oh, that's going to be tight through there.
Oh, really touch. Oh, my God. Oh, that's Robert Wickens. And his teammate is into him as well, James Hinchcliffe. That was ugly. That was frightening.
Big impact.
concern. So let's have a look here on the inside here. There's Hunter Ray braking sideways, and look at that. Wickens just climbs over the 28 and up into the fence.
It was a vicious impact. That is the fastest part of the racetrack. You know, you're wide open, two cars contact, and the angle at which they darted off.
Backed out in the drivers' meeting today. The drivers were warned and reminded as they nearly come together.
There it goes. No. That's the big one. That's the big one. Big crash.
Oh boy. Hildebrand Jones.
It's his teammate Aloshin who's giving Hinchcliffe nowhere to go.
Oh, Vautier got contact as well.
Aloshin made it 3 wide down the back straightaway, and when Hinchcliffe had to move up, he was pinched. Terrible result for Vautier that was having such a great run. So both Dale Coyne cars, both Schmidt-Peterson cars, both Ed Carpenter cars.
The Youngster going for the lead. Johnny Rutherford right alongside him. Rutherford down low, but Bobby with a terrible crash on the home stretch. There are several cars involved. We can't see the numbers, but it's been a bad crash on this car. It was in the middle of the field somewhere.
Watch, there's a car going, starting to the right. Right there, and look at this. Incredible explosion, fuel spraying out over the spectators in the first few rows. That could mean real trouble. And the explosion, and like a pinwheel or a garden sprinkler, all the fuel is being sprayed out of the car. That could be a good thing for the driver if he has survived this crash. Car upside down. Coming, another view of this from a head-on camera. And again, you will see how the cables inside this screen are the only thing to stop this car from flying into the crowd. There, watch now, the screen itself is completely destroyed. The cables flinging him back out on the race course upside down, and again that fuel spraying on the crowd. That's a matter of great concern. And here, that pinwheel effect. The alcohol-based fuel spinning out of the car upside down. Another car, Lee Koonsman, I believe, number 16, barely missing the crash. It's Salt Walther who is under the car.
Number 53 up here in turn number 4. A huge accident involving many cars, some overturning, many becoming involved in a ball of flame. And the miraculous thing is that there are apparently no serious injuries. Here it is from another angle.
Yes, and you can see cars up against the wall. That is Casey Mears that got up in the air. Not
car was actually pretty comfortable, and as soon as I made turn 1, the car just flicked, and the first flick I still in control, but suddenly it escaped out of my hand and it just went completely 180, and as soon as I hit the wall, which I thought was going to be a really huge impact, it wasn't. When all of a sudden backwards I felt the car start taking off, and that's where I'm like, oh snap, this is going to hurt. I closed my eyes to that point because I didn't know what's going to happen, and when I opened, I was actually not quite understanding because I not even felt an impact on the landing. And Roger was on the radar, "Are you okay?" And I was like, surprisingly, yes, I'm okay.
But Alexander Rossi pretty well smoked on the front straightaway. Now Ryan Hunter-Reay is to the inside. Huge crash. Hunter-Reay, Sato. Oh no, and Rossi is in it.
A lot of cars.
Up in the fence is Rosenquist.
This is disastrous for Rossi in the championship. His teammate was involved like he was last year in turn 2. Sato's involved. Car upside down. Sato's car.
They're now 3 wide.
They just squeezed him. Sato just came
down
over
on Rossi.
Yeah, he just came down on top of Rossi and then swept everybody out. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that.
Man.
Up in the fence. So very hard hit for Rosenquist. Very lucky.
I'm so glad that Rosenquist stayed out of the fence in terms of the whole car getting up there.
Oh, yeah.
So here we get a good head-on shot. I'm not sure what Sato thought he was clear maybe and tried to get a draft off Dixon.
Yeah, I don't know what he was doing in that situation. He just kind of turned down across those guys, and there was a car in the middle
Rossi was in the sandwich.
Well, we have an onboard
in the middle of it, so we'll get an onboard with Rossi. Look at this. Already banging wheels already, so close. But here, watch Sato, and then he just turns on him.
Oh, and Hunter Ray was kind of tight
Rossi
down below.
No steering for Rossi now.
I think everybody was trying to go after the single car toe, the draft from Scott Dixon. You had 3 wide and 1 in front. Hunter Ray on board.
Passing his teammate here, so he's on the inside clear of him. Then watch Sato he tries to shoot that gap, and it was not there.
Not
so
on at all.
I would say at this point, Ryan Hunter-Reay saying, I might be done with Pocono. 2 really scary crashes in 2 years.
Sato collected just about everybody, and it sends Rosenqvist up. So similar to Wickens last year. He's so lucky that didn't get into the fence. And it ripped the front of the nose right off the car.
He's
so
lucky that the bottom side of the car impacted the wall of the.
It's on the brakes. He's doing what he has to do, but the cars just come right back to him. He was on the brakes, slowing down, downshifting, doing exactly what he needed to do, but then the cars swept back up the track.
There's Ray Hall on board.
Good driving by
All clear.
The bottom. Watch this, down low, and Rahal closes the door.
That's where you've got to be, Marco. That's where you've got to be. You've got those fresh tires, but not in the middle of the track. You've got to dive down low. You've seen what Briscoe could have done.
This is it. 1 lap. Oh, there goes Ryan Hunter-Reay and Ryan Briscoe, and Briscoe flies. Briscoe flips and flies. On the grass, the 2 Ryans came together.
Yeah, it looked horrible.
They just start bouncing off of each other here. Hunter-Reay was going for a gap. It closed, and he came down into Brian, and the grass just caught the car and just flipped it violently.
Goodness me.
And very shortly thereafter, Ryan Briscoe gives the double thumbs up. Watch this, just a gap that closed again. It's Karam coming down, Hunter-Reay in the middle. And Ryan Briscoe, just the innocent bystander there down on the inside. And that nose just dove in like a dart into the grass.
Absolutely.
And flipped Briscoe.
These guys are all nose to tail. You can't really see the flagger, and he just gets into the back tire and drives right over the top of that car. And another example of how the safety screen is really, I believe, just saved Rinus VK's life with that.
And the fact that Colton Hurta's, this is good, I'll be on board. Simon slows up. Rinus, it all just happens so fast. You have almost no time to react in that situation. You're trying to be as close to the car in front of you on a restart as possible to try to get that draft, try to maximize.
Well, Rinus VK got a little loose there. It stepped out, and he had to check up, and Colton was on a run right there, so it was kind of a little bit of 2 things going on.